Oh man. Hey, welcome back to PETEPLAYS. Here we're playing Dragon Quest VI. We are gonna just have one of those episodes, you know? We're gonna have a grindy grind, and that's just what we gotta do. And we're gonna love it, we're gonna enjoy it, we're gonna have peace with it. We're gonna get into battle eventually. Anytime now. Man. Boy, I tell you, this one's going up late. It was one of those things where, like, I felt a little stuck. Yay! Because of Moralgus and... you know, having some, like, dead characters here, right? And not having enough money, and I'm like, oh, man, like, I just feel like this isn't going anywhere right now, and I feel bad making a shot of it, but I don't really have time to, like, sit and do off-camera grinding. But then I was like, you know what? We play games because we find ways to enjoy them. Oh, the enemies were surprised! So, we got a grind episode, and that's just fine. And that's just fine. They're gone. I figured this was a good chance to get everybody up a few levels, to make some cash. I don't really know. I need, like, 15... That's not what I meant to do. I need, like, 1,500 bucks to bring everybody back to life. And then I need to actually know how much. That's not what I meant to press. Oh! I think I may have enough, actually. Let's check. Because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grind in the dungeon where things are a little bit more powerful. I just got a weird pop-up on one of my screens. Welcome to the House of Healing. Oof. Pricey. Oh, I gotta confirm softball. I want to know. Hassan revived. Oops. Well, that's not what I meant to do, but that's what I did. Sometimes it'll go straight to the menu, and sometimes it'll make you press to go to the menu. And let me tell you, that's, I can catch ya. Who is to be revived? Burial. Burial. Sorry for the noise. No. Okay, we're good. We're gonna stay at an inn. Where? Man, I'm getting all kinds of... So many people are asking me to do regional games because it's regionals time for junior high baseball and softball. And that also happens to be the week that my wife's, wife of the show, producer of the show, Meg, her parents are out of town. And oftentimes so she will work till 5 and then has to come home. So she doesn't get home till almost 6 some days of the week. And then, if I umpire in the afternoon, I have to leave like around 3 or 3:30. So even if I'm there to pick up the kiddos, I am not, like, I would have to leave to go to the game, and we wouldn't have anybody to, like, watch them. It feels weird to talk about like watching, like I gotta watch my kid. Well, you know, I don't watch them. I'm a parent of theirs, right? Like, so it feels weird to be like, oh, I have to watch my kids. What I mean is like, I take care. I am a caretaker for my kiddos. Where is? There it is. I don't babysit them, right? That's the point I'm trying to make is like my chair. The point I'm trying to make is like I don't babysit my own like kids. I watch them, but I can't. It feels weird to try to find a way to like express that without sounding like, oh, I gotta watch my kid. No, like I need to watch my kids, but also I get to watch my kids. It's just that like in a time where I might entrust their care to someone else, like their mother or their grandparents, I'm not able to. So I'm the only person. I'm the go-to, and I can't go out and like umpire a baseball game or something, right? So anyway, that being said, that's all. Man, I gotta do this. All right, we're back. We're done with responsibilities, and now we can focus on the true important thing in our lives: video games. The door is locked, but your key doesn't work. You must identify this door. It's a door! Hi, bud. Well, he's done with his bone, and now he's remembered that his mom is not around, and he's a little fired up about it. The hippos are back, and they're gonna destroy us. Oh, great. Found out who my partner is today. What are you doing? Stop it. Man. I want a different team. I forgot that I didn't change my team when I brought everybody back to life and back to reality. Good, okay. Good job. Ah! Uh-oh. Are we all dead? Well, maybe. It's okay, bud. It's okay, buddy. You're good. Good boy. I wasn't looking. I have no idea what happened. It went... Good boy. Good boy. He always calms down a little when I scratch his neck. He loves it. Ressa? Scratches... What? Did she get her, like, mind zonked or something? Hey, bud. It's okay. Buddy. Good boy. Lay down. Good boy. He just gets so anxious when his mama's not around. And I get it. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Bup. Can I change when I'm just out here? No. No, I must be on the overworld map. Tactixio. And remember, we're just grinding. I'm saying this as much for y'all as for me. Brentley. Hassan. Muriel. Chamorro. Barbara's kind of catching up, though. Let's do a quick little restore. Why did you restore people who aren't in the party, though? I think it's kind of silly that it, like, makes you do it every time. I mean, maybe not. But it's not like when they were going into the mines of Moria and they said, you know, the Elvish word for friend, and it opened. Like, if they were like, oops, gotta go back out, it wouldn't have, like, shut on them, right? So, or maybe it would have. I don't know. Excellent. No! Oh, well, he's no longer confused. Later, dudes. I think part of the difficulty of... It's not really difficulty isn't the right word. Like, I get a little gun shy about grind episodes sometimes because I feel like I don't know what to talk about. And, uh-oh, they got me first. And sometimes I feel like it feels a little forced. But, I don't know. Like, again, it's just a video game show. It doesn't matter. But I think that should maybe M17D maybe should demonstrate to you that like being authentic is like really important to me. And by authentic, I mean, what is wrong with these numbers? I just mean in the sense of like, I never want to make a show where I'm putting on a persona that isn't pretty close to me. Like there are things that about myself that I kind of like pull back a little bit. Like I talk a little bit differently. I am infrequently sort of I sometimes do this sort of like faux outrage thing. Yes, and a terrific blow. I almost said an evil blow. No, it's a blow on the evil driver. She was an evil driver. Oh my goodness, no. Stop it! Okay. Ugh. Why did he get to do 2 of those? Great, now I have to heal. Die! Thank you. That's a lot of experience, though. Yeah, I just don't want to sound like put on or what's up, guys? It's your boy PetePlays. I'm back. Make sure you smash that liker. Like, I don't like that. And there's some guys that do that, the guys or gals or whoever. There's some people that is part of their persona, and that's how it goes. And whatever. Like, I don't enjoy that content. The content I enjoy generally has to do with people like being a version of themselves that's like pretty close to who they are, even if they're doing something that's kind of like, buddy, it's okay, bud. Good boy. Good boy. I hear you. I hear you, bud. I hear you. Even if it's a little different than like who they are in person. My stepson watches this guy on YouTube named Ryan Trahan. And I'm really skeptical of people who do the videos where they like do challenges or like I stayed at every hotel that's got a Z in the name of it, like that kind of stuff. I'm skeptical. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna like that. But I've watched enough videos of this guy from Henry just having them on. He likes to have something on while he plays a game on his iPad or draws or whatever, because he's like just chronically understimulated. He is amazingly not genetically related to me, but I think that should tell you how much his mother and I have in common. He'll watch this guy, and he's really like genuine and sweet, and like has my sense of humor. It's a little bit quirky and a little bit scattered, and his whole thing is he just likes to travel and meet people. He's just like a pure extrovert, right? Like he wants to meet people, he wants to talk to them, he wants to be in these like silly little situations where he just gets to be, and he's so nice. I've seen a dozen videos by this guy. Where he stayed in an underwater hotel. He built an outdoor shelter and stayed in it, like a shelter out of like mud and sticks and leaves and stuff. Like he did the penny challenge where you try to like make a penny, turn a penny into a house or something, right? And then he donated the house to a friend of his who like they needed to upgrade because they opened a business and they had a kid and they needed more space, and like I don't know, that's really cool. It's definitely a product of, see, this is, I'm gonna veer into a thing that I don't often talk about, well, relatively. For spending 2.5 to 3 hours a week just talking to a camera, I talk surprisingly little about many of my deeply held beliefs vis-a-vis like human experience and politics and economics. Mostly just because, like, I just want to have fun. Um, but also, like, sometimes it's fun to reflect on the human experience. Oh, why did that not get Evil Man? Evil Man, make up your mind. You cannot do it. I am an anti-capitalist, and if you've been watching this show long enough, you probably know that. And I think a lot of people, and I don't think it's a silly question. Some people will be like, how can you be anti-capitalist and yet do things like have money? No, I think that's silly. Because there was money before there was capitalism. But something like, use YouTube, which has the ability to like run ads and monetize its content. And how do I participate meaningfully in an economy? Can somebody do a heal, please? No! Gonna have to go back. We have to go back. It's just, it's really unfortunate. Well, just punch him. What? How dare you? Okay. I got the water of Amaru. Wow. Please don't get caught. Okay. Well, I hope I made enough money to bring myself back to life. It's kind of a bummer. I think it can be asked. It's so frequently asked in bad faith. How can you really be against capitalism if you buy an iPhone or whatever, right? Like, I think that's very childish. I think a more meaningful question is something like, what does it mean to be anti-capitalist and yet still be so intertwined with all these systems that are in many ways possible because of capitalism? That's a really interesting question. And it's a challenging question. And that's why I thought I heard something. Is someone home? Is someone back? I don't know. Sometimes I have my headphones on and I can't hear when producer of the show, Meg, walks in. Revive. Let's bring Chamorro back. That'll be the cheapest way to do this. I didn't think about it last time I did this. I should have done that. Leave. I should have done it like this. Spell. Chamorro. Viva. Well, it's still cheaper to go stay at the inn and get his MP back and then revive people. It's cheaper by like over $1,000. Coins? 1,000 gil? I don't know. So anyway, that's an interesting question. And I don't know what originally started. No, not search. We'll vivify everybody real quick here. No, I am such a fool. I'm a fool! Good, okay. Wait. Okay, so I was... Great. I'm gonna have to like go back and watch. I had a point for veering into like sort of political and economic talk here. Man, great. Now I have so many things to talk about now. Oops. basically, whatever I was talking about, I think my ultimate point was going to be anti-capitalist does not mean to be against innovation or creativity or even market competition. To be anti-capitalist means that I don't want to make the abiding purpose of my life or my industriousness the constant expansion of my surplus. One, because I think that in order to do that initially, you have to, like, really... Oh, stay away from that! You have to really, like, do some things that I don't think are good to do to people, to objects, to environments, to creatures. But also because to do so infinitely, as is the logic of capital, is impossible. Experience and existence and stuff as we know it. Maybe being itself may be infinite, right? The matter, the stuff of the universe may be infinite. There may be an eternal recurrence of the same, where, you know, the heat death of the universe is going to happen, but then all of a sudden it just, like, retracts and begins expanding again. I think cosmologically there's a lot of evidence and a lot of strong theory to suggest that that's a reasonable thing. But the conditions for the possibility of human existence on this planet are not infinite. And the reason that capitalism is a problem is not because it has innovation or competition or uses resources or anything like that. And I don't even know that it's necessarily because of the alienation of labor from the human, because I think I can't imagine a condition for the possibility of human existence that doesn't involve some level of alienation from labor. No matter what, when you make something, it's going to be a little bit separate from you. When you have kids, when you make a blanket, when you plant a crop, something is lost and separated from you in a way that can't really be gotten back. And that's just what it means to exist as a person, right? Hannah Arendt says, the human condition is that we are conditioned, right? There are conditions on our existence, and that's cheating. Look at that boo-boo doing his stupid little sword move. Oh, Krang. No! Please! Please! Okay, just someone heal Chamorro. I hate these things. I hate these things. I wish they were dead, and I'm going to be given my... Why do you get so many turns? Stop it! Gonna run out of money! Ah! Well, Resent's now a... Resent? Who? Ressa is now a trader. Alright, we'll deal with these idiots. But the thing that makes capitalism a problem isn't all this other stuff. It's not money, it's not making stuff, it's not... The primary, originary problem of capital is the logic of it. For it to work in itself and to be capital, it has to say expansion always. Don't stop. Don't limit. Get the most. That's capitalism. Anything that is a limit on that is a limit on capitalism. And we have that everywhere. There's no such thing as a pure capitalist. Right? there are people who will sort of do this utilitarian game to get the most that they can get, but there's no such thing as like a purely capitalist because that person would never sleep, right? That person would say time spent not working is a net loss, right? Giving even paying wages, right? It is better for my infinite expansion to have slave labor, right? Which, P.S. there was a theory. Let's go to Clearvale. There was a theory that part of the reason that the South gave up on the enslavement of human beings was because they realized it was not financially viable. This is demonstrably wrong. It wasn't financially viable from the perspective of like, it will be harder for us to have a country. And we will have to spend money like that way. But if everybody just decided they were fine with slavery, it would be the most profitable enterprise in the history of humanity. Like, you're basically saying, I'm getting constant return on my labor, right? Oops, I accidentally saved again. And never having to pay wages, and I have the absolute minimum of costs and overhead. We even see in Brazil in the 17th century, 17th and 18th centuries, we see that like vivify that there was they didn't do what they did in America, which they mostly had to do because of like shutting down the slave trade in the early 19th century. But in Brazil, they were just like, we don't care if any of our enslaved people have children because we don't have a hereditary generational enslavement, right? We just have, you do labor until you die. We will throw you in caves until you die from exhaustion or like from silver poisoning, which was the thing that happened frequently to enslaved people in Brazil because they were mining silver. Like, Spain had so many slaves and mining so much silver that they just like messed up the economy. Like, and the mortality rate of enslaved people in Brazil, in colonial Brazil in the 17th century, was like 80% or something like that, I want to say. I'm willing to be fact checked on these numbers, but the idea is like it was incredibly high. It was like 2/3 of people. It was just, you were just dead within a year because there was no like, oh, we need to keep this person alive so they can give me children and then I'll grow them up into like hereditary enslaved peoples, right? That was a way of doing it, and it was so unbelievably profitable that it crashed economies. Like, holy Jenkins. I did the wrong menu button again. It's hard to menu and still talk about stuff. So, all that to say, there's no such thing as a pure capitalist. So we already understand the idea of limits on capitalism. This is also why I think there's no such thing as a true libertarian. I am sympathetic to reasonable libertarian ideals. I don't personally agree with most of them, but I think that that's not that's like more a matter of sensibility than it is a matter of like some sort of morality. But also, like, if you're just like, I don't want government up in my business, no government, that's not possible. You cannot exist and be not governed. A condition for the possibility of modern existence is being governed by something, not necessarily a state, right? But by something. And I think my little brother is, I would say, a pretty principled libertarian, and someone that I again, disagree with politically on a lot of things, but also trust him as a person to be humane. Like, he recently just met how do I tell this story in the most general way possible? Also, only 7 people are going to watch this, so who cares? But, like, he met someone who is very famous to him. Not like a famous person, but someone who is behind, like, the main person behind a lot of really beloved media, especially for my little brother. There was a movie in our childhood that was very important to him. And this guy was one of the principal animators. And he had a chance to meet him at some swanky dinner that he got invited to because, you know, his wife like donated something. I don't remember what it was. And it turns out this gentleman was struggling with a chronic disease, and my little brother and his wife run a clinic where they do alternative treatments for things using I don't even know what to say. Like, it's like an alternative medicine sounds like it's a scam. I just mean in the sense of, like, they do like CBD therapy and like different things. So, you know, stuff with some evidence-based research to say that like this can work for people, but also it's a lot of sort of pragmatic. He just went to the guy's wife and said like, "Hey, we know that this can be a really tough condition, and we run a clinic where we, you know, have access to these kinds of therapies, and you know, we really love your husband's work, and we would just love to, you know, offer anything to you completely free of charge, just because, you know, we know that what you're going through is really, really difficult. I'm gonna die. These things are gonna kill me." And it turns out that person was the wife was so moved that she was like, absolutely, like, thank you. Like, you don't understand what, like, people don't know what we've been going through. Like, he's having a really good day today, but other times it's really bad. So my little brother just like went out of his way and said, I will take a net financial loss because it is worth it to me to care for someone who has brought a lot of good into the world. So that's why I trust my little brother. He does those kinds of things all the time. Oh, I'm getting a little emotional about it too. My little brother and I are on complete opposite spectrums of the sort of political square, right? We're in totally different quadrants, but I trust that he cares about people. And caring about a person is a limit on capital. In my opinion. That's because to say it's more important to me we even use these words like invest in people. Like, yes, but also he's never going to get a monetary return on that. Like, it would be kind of crass. And I think he would even say it was awful. Like, he wouldn't measure like, all right, so I gave this much stuff to this guy, and this is everything that I can trace back to that I've gotten because I did that nice thing. I would never expect him to do that. Maybe you could. I don't know that you can. It seems like a really dubious way to kind of like run a business. But like, we put limits on capital every day, whether that is because we have values or because we are shamed into having them, like in the case of the like ending the slave trade, right? The question is not how much capitalism, but how do we go from, well, I'm going to put a limit on the fundamental logic of constant expansion, or I'm going to say I need a principle that tells me when constant expansion should stop. How much do I expand? And this is honestly why I'm a communist, not because I think it's perfect, but because like the principle of constant expansion, but we limit it sometimes, doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't work. I want a principle that says we will expand until this point, and then we don't need any more. And then we don't need to be any bigger, right? I don't know. So all that to say, like, I love that we have video games and VR and pharmaceutical miracles that never would have happened without innovation and markets and things. But also, I believe that there is a way that we could have gotten to 90% of the things that we have today, or something like them, that didn't have to involve a global market principle of constant expansion to get to. Anyway, those are all my thoughts. I hope they made any sense at all. And if they didn't, skip this episode. It's not like anything interesting happened on the screen. I just died a lot and fought some demons and giant rat mole hippos. Thanks for hanging out with me. Sorry this went up a little late, but you know, I'm trying to get a little bit ahead on October since I've got some extra stuff and it was the end of the term, and you know, but we're just having a good time. Thanks for hanging out. I love you guys. I love the show. I love getting to do it. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next time on Pete Plays. Bye.
You said, "Hi, welcome to Pete Plays."
Hi, welcome to the authoritarian takeover of Pete Plays.
What everyone does in the face of attack. Endlessly spin the ship.
Hey, remember when one shark attacked me?
Up from the grave he rose!
Thanks for the coins. Here's my poster.
The name is Ramen Flowbottom.
I hope they remember you, shark.
Orlington.
No, I'm trying to not get hit by these things.
Everything's normal.
Shimbo.
Okay.
Consider this interview concluded.